happening now? We're about to send you back to the future!
Hello and welcome to another episode of Back to the Reviewture, the show in which we take a classic movie that one of us, or both of us, might not have seen before, and we take a look at it now. I'm Drew Bridger.
I'm Amber Inch.
And there comes a time in every boy's life where all he has to do is sit down with a good book. Yes, we are travelling back in our Wayback Machine to the year 1984, and guess what, Amber?
What?
You don't get to do your joke this episode.
What joke?
You don't get to do your thing.
What thing?
You know the thing.
No.
You know the thing that you do.
What thing?
Oh, you say that you've watched this film, but actually you haven't.
Oh.
You say you've watched it, but actually you watched it like ages ago and you just pretending that you've seen it. Guess what, Amber?
What?
I actually haven't seen it this time.
Oh, okay, good. Finally.
This is one that we both haven't seen.
Mm.
How does that feel?
Alright.
Oh, okay, alright. I was expecting a little bit more of a reaction from you, but alright, okay, alright.
What reaction did you want?
Well, I don't know. I was hoping for something a little bit more like, oh, good, finally, you can actually admit it.
I did say finally.
Yeah, I thought you were going to go along with the in-joke for a while then, but you were just, oh,
No, because
good,
last
good.
time you got annoyed when I was talking about it. Oh, where's this come from?
Yeah, well.
So I've stopped now.
Oh, okay, alright. We took the in-joke too far, and then when I start playing into it, you're no longer interested.
Yeah, because you said that you didn't like me talking, you don't want me to do it anymore, so I stopped.
Okay, well, okay, alright. Well, that's killed that joke dead then, hasn't it?
No, you seemed hurt, so if you don't want me to make a joke anymore, I don't make a joke anymore.
Well, no, I'm saying this time you don't get to. Well, there you
Just
go.
as well, then.
Just as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I actually haven't seen this film before. And I don't know if this is really a surprise of any kind, considering what it is. Because even though I was born way after this film came out.
Well.
Alright.
Way after.
Alright. Yeah, 3 years after. Yeah, so even if I was born 3 years after this film came out, I probably wouldn't appreciate it as a film until at least, 6 years after this came out, 10 years after this film came out. So, I would have to be at least around the age of like 5 or 6 to actually appreciate this film as a film.
Yeah, probably older.
Yeah, exactly. So, we are travelling in our Wayback Machine today to the year 1984 to look at the, can I call it a cult phenomenon?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think so.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely in that era of things. The cult phenomenon, I suppose? The NeverEnding story. Which, I mean, I'm surprised, in a way, I'm surprised that you hadn't seen it. Because,
Why?
well, in so much as I'm surprised that no one showed this film to you when you were a kid. Like your family. I feel like this is the kind of film that your dad might have tried to show you
I didn't
as
really
a kid.
80s films. I had good stuff by then, like The Lion King and Toy Story.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I suppose so. But I was kind of thinking more along the lines of you having been shown it as part of like a...
I don't know. I don't think I would have liked this.
Oh, okay. So, well,
I don't like it now.
Well, I suppose there is that. I find it weird that I haven't seen this film before because I feel like...
Yeah, I find that a bit weird, actually.
This was... Oh, alright, thank you. Why? No, I'm kidding. I feel like this was more in the area of something that I probably should have seen.
Yeah.
Or would otherwise have seen, considering the other films that I was also kind of consequently interested in. But I feel like there was something about this film in a way that put me off.
Okay.
Because, okay, we're going to take a little trip back in our minds now, all right? Do you remember the heady days of our youth when you would get a VCR of, now that's already old enough, right? The fact, what's a VCR? I hear you say, right? A tape, a cassette tape.
VHS.
A VHS. Yeah, thank you. See, it's been so long, I've forgotten the term for it.
VCR is the player.
Yeah, yes, I know my mistake now. I remembered. Going back in my mind, you'd have a VHS tape.
Yeah.
Right? Do you remember when you would put it in and it would never cut straight to the film? There would always be ads, trailers, everything like that before the film started. Right? So there was always, well, I say always, on a few ones that I had, because it was like Criterion Collection or something like that. Whatever, it was from the same studio that probably produced them. So there's like, hey, other films from this studio that's bringing you this is blah, 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 blah. That's how I first saw the trailer for Star Wars when I was like 5. And because they were releasing the trilogy on VHS.
Aww.
Right. So I first saw the trailer for Star Wars and I was like, wow, I kind of want to watch Star Wars now.
That's
yeah, I
cute.
know. Right. So I was like 6. No, how old was I? I think I was like 7 or 8 or something. And I was like, oh wow, I kind of want to watch that film. Kind of want to watch Star Wars. Looks cool.
It totally worked then, what they did.
Well, oh yeah, what a surprise that you show a trailer for a cool looking film to an impressionable young kid and go, do you want to watch this film of this trailer that we've made it look really exciting? And, you know, not at all about intergalactic politics for the most part.
I know, but it's like it would have been quite an old film by then.
It would have, yeah. I think it was around the time that they were reissuing it after having, like, remastered it. Yeah. So it was around the mid-90s, early to mid-90s. They'd reissued them after having, like, re-scrubbed all of the film and everything. Right, yeah. Like, you know, made the darks darker, the lights lighter, everything like that. You know, made all of the colours brighter. I saw a trailer for the NeverEnding Story, and even though I liked Jim Henson style things at the time, there was something about NeverEnding Story to me that was like, I'm not sure I like the look of that. That puts me on edge a little bit. There was some things in my youth that I deliberately didn't want to watch because they kind of put me on edge a little
like
bit.
What?
Because of how they looked.
Oh yeah, I understand. There are some things I can't quite I don't quite know. Like some silent films put me on edge a bit like that.
Yeah. There's
something about like silent films, like that old style black and white, like overly make-upped face, and
right.
I don't know what it is, and I don't know why, but there's something about it that makes me feel a bit like, oh, like a bit creep, like just uneasy, but I can't describe it because there's nothing scary about it, and it's not on purpose to be creepy, obviously.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's actually quite nice. Like two people might be going on a date and they like each other.
Yeah.
But it's just like, there's something that, I don't know, I genuinely can't describe. Like there's a feeling that I try to kind of like get across, but I don't know why.
And the irony of this situation is that usually for things like this, there's like a German word for it. Because there's so many German words for like very particular feelings of things that would take a lot of English words to describe. The irony of this situation is that the original NeverEnding Story was written in German. Oh. So there probably is a word in there for the feeling of unease being offset by something that you're watching on screen.
Yeah,
But
it's just that I don't know why.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
it's that the fact that they kind of the fact that they look very human but not quite fully human. Like there's no like angles on their faces when they're that heavily made up in black and white.
I just don't know. Like when you think of old films, you're like, oh, creepy old film. I don't know why.
I mean, when you think back on things like black and white films, it does dredge up things,
Ghostly things.
Yeah, of like Nosferatu.
Because I know it's obviously not Victorian, but it's like the Victorian ghost stories and things like that make you. I don't know, because it doesn't. I don't know how to explain it, but there's just something about it that makes me a bit. Ooh, don't know if I like that.
But I mean, for NeverEnding Story, I think it was the things about the animatronics, or
because his
the
mouth
way...
doesn't quite move along with the words properly.
Yeah, there was something about just some of the animatronics and the way that they moved that they didn't really like feel right to me. They didn't really. It's such an indescribable sense of just like. And even though I had watched some Jim Henson things, like The Dark Crystal and Labyrinth, even then...
I know, but they move smoothly and properly because it's somebody operating them.
Yes.
This is like an animatronic thing that's like a bit juddery, or like a little bit like it lapses a bit and...
Yeah.
Almost like it's about to break or something.
There is that. But even then... Even though I had watched high fantasy things like Labyrinth and Dark Crystal and stuff like that, for some reason, at that age, I still couldn't quite stomach the Muppets for a while. For some reason. And I know this is going to sound really strange, but I think it was because of characters like Statler and Waldorf. Yes. Because they're meant to look like people.
Yeah.
And they weren't people.
Yeah.
And it's playing into that kind of automatonophobia that I have of things looking like people but not being people. It's like, it was that. So I got kind of put off by that. And even though there isn't any of that happening in NeverEnding Story, it is the fact that it's slightly out of uncanny, whereas like it doesn't quite line up, nothing quite looks how it should. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, as we do with every episode, we get the people or the person that hasn't seen the film to talk us through what they thought the film was going to be about before watching it. So I think I should go first for this one.
Okay.
Because this was my suggestion that we watched, because I couldn't believe that I'd gone this long. And I suddenly thought one day, I forget what it was that clued me in, but I suddenly thought one day, well, hang on, I've never seen The NeverEnding Story. Neither of you. And this is like a big
How did
thing.
you know that I hadn't seen NeverEnding Story?
I think I asked you once whether you'd seen it, but I was just going on the assumption that you probably hadn't. Because it just kind of...
that would have been right.
Well, yeah, but also it kind of wasn't your thing either.
No, exactly.
But, yeah. Honestly, I thought this film was going to be a little bit different from what it was. I thought that this film was going to be more about the kid physically coming into the fantasia, the fantasy world. Like, I thought he was going to start reading the book, and the more he read the book, like, there was a part of it where they literally, like, pulled him
I thought that as well.
into it. Because there were so many scenes in the film that I thought I had seen, like, clips of, or flashes of, or things from in pop culture or whatever, where Bastian, the kid reading the book, was in the scene as well.
Well, he was riding that Falcon thing.
Yeah, that. Well, there's that.
Maybe that's why, though.
But I thought it was more things like the Swamp of Sadness
Oh.
and everything. Like, I thought...
Maybe you just confused him with the actual boy in the...
I mean, maybe I did. Maybe that's the thing. But I was so convinced that they were, like, sharing the screen together throughout the film that I was like, well, have I got this all wrong?
Yes.
In my head? Well, yeah, obviously I have. So I kind of thought, well, is this it? Is this him just reading the book?
I know.
For the entire film? I thought, well, this is just Princess Bride, essentially.
That's what I was thinking, yeah.
Yeah, it's very Princess Bride, but it's only at the end that it gets very meta. And I was like, oh, okay, right. Now is the point where it, like, makes the twist, and it's been building to that, and it's 5 minutes from the end. But, you know, what did you think it was going to be about?
I literally had absolutely no... I'm going to be really boring. I really had no idea. I couldn't even imagine what it was going to be about. I couldn't even think what it was going to be about. I had literally no idea. I knew that big dragon thing turned up at one point.
Right.
So
Falcor.
I kind of thought what you thought. Oh, it's just somebody in a fantasy land. I had absolutely no idea what this story was going to be about. How can you?
What I will say is the title is very, very misleading.
Yeah, it's a bit vague.
It's not just vague. It's also, I should be suing for false advertising.
Yeah, because we're not still watching it, are we?
Well, yeah, I know, right? Says NeverEnding Story. Says NeverEnding Story. It's actually one of the shortest films we've watched recently.
Yeah, but I think the book was really long.
Okay, so, would you like your first bit of...
Why did I bring that up?
Why did I bring that up? Oh, yeah, this is the episode where I get to take it out of you this time. So, I was going to say, did you want your first bit of, is the trivia worth the time? Because there is... Well, I won't read all of it, because some of it is spoilers, and there are another 2 films of this.
What?
Yeah. Well, I mean, alright, there's no need to look like that, but I mean...
Is it just the same film again, because it's never ending? That's the point.
I feel like it's not, but I will read you this.
Because, is it called The NeverEnding Story because... It essentially, they're saying obviously, oh, Bastian is the real kid like the Earth child that's got to say my name to keep us alive or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But he's not the only person that's ever read that book. So it's the NeverEnding Story because they have to do it with everybody that reads that book.
So here is my mentality behind it, because the Empress at the end says that he's part of the NeverEnding Story, so he is reading she says he is reading our story now as it's happening, just as there are people
at him
watching his story. Presumably, paradoxically, that just carries on and on and on and on.
So what, are they
on.
trying to introduce like string theory into a kids' film?
I mean...
Is it kind of like that?
I mean, I didn't expect to have an existential crisis at the end of this film, but that is what's been brought on by the conclusion to this film. It ends with you essentially having a question of your own mortality and whether you're actually just a fictional character in someone else's book the entire time.
Moonchild!
See, okay. I had to... Okay, alright, I'm going to come clean now. Okay. I had no idea what he said at that part. Part of me coming up here, pulling back the curtain on this podcast, part of me coming up here to set up the equipment to record immediately after having watched this film, was frantically trying to find out what he actually said.
Moonchild.
Yeah, I didn't know.
That was his mum's name.
So obviously his mum was a hippie then. Okay, that's created a little bit of backstory there. That's good. So, I mean, I don't want to ask this, but what do you reckon that she died from? Was it just a really bad LSD trip or something as a hippie? I don't know.
Maybe she drowned in the mud.
Oh, awful. So, a little bit of is the trivia worth the time? The movie...
Spoiler, it's not.
Okay. I'm gonna... So... Alright. None of this trivia is good, okay? None of the trivia.
Was that your Tom Cruise impression?
I look more like Tom Cruise than anyone else there is. What, even Tom Cruise?
I look more like Tom Cruise than anyone.
All of the trivia for this film is terrible, okay? All of it is terrible. There is no good trivia for this film. Like, I usually think that I can find some good trivia for the films that we watch. There is no good trivia for this film. Alright? Half of the trivia is just about Noah Hathaway. And, what he's doing. The guy who plays Atreyu.
Now.
Yeah. Half of the trivia is just about
Going
that.
to conventions, probably.
So, one of them is this. And it's surprisingly one of the only bits that isn't about...
That guy.
Yeah. The movie only covers the first half of the original novel by Michael Ende. Bastian reading the book and saving Fantasia for giving childlike Empress a new name. Therefore, the point at which the movie ends is only the halfway point of the... See, it literally...
Even that's confusing. I'm confused
It
now.
literally the trivia has just repeated itself. The movie only covers the first half of the original book. Therefore, the point at which the movie ends is only the halfway point of the book. Yeah, alright, we get it. Bastian enters into Fantasia to recreate it using Orin. His later coronation as king, a war to topple him, the progressive loss of memory after it, and finally, his return to the real world is all in the following films.
Oh.
So, yeah. It's mental that the book was so long.
Yeah, the NeverEnding.
Yeah, well, yeah. Exactly. So maybe that's how you feel when you're reading it. Michael Ende, the author of the book, was unhappy with his adaptation of his story and refused to have his name placed in the opening credits. His name still appears in the ending credits. During production, he strongly disagreed with how the film was deviating from the source material.
Oh.
He later requested a change of the film's title, or production halted altogether.
Oh.
After the studio declined both requests, he filed a lawsuit and ultimately lost.
Yeah.
So, this guy wrote this...
I thought you could you not say, like, I mean, I don't know how it works, but I suppose he already gave the rights over. But could he not say, well, I wrote this is my material, I'm not going to give you the rights then, I'm just going to take the rights off you?
Probably. He could.
Maybe it doesn't work.
Probably.
Like that, I don't know.
But I think when you're adapting a script, you
yeah.
can basically claim that you're not directly using the source material. So, in that instance, yes, they could probably change the title of the film, change some parts of the script, and have it loosely based on that novel. But...
I found it a bit confusing.
Did you?
Yeah.
Alright.
Why did he have to do that at all in the first place? That whole journey, why did he have to do that?
Because that's the part, that's what she said at the end. The whole point of his journey was because Bastian was along the journey with him. If he had just said at the start, like, that the whole point of it is for him to garner interest and, you know, emotionally invest in the story.
Yeah, so that's like, I don't think, like, I know that part everybody watched the film when they were younger was completely scarred by that horse scene, and that's all I hear people talk about whenever NeverEnding stories
Again,
go up.
that's
it's like,
same with me.
That thing with the horse dies. And it's like, yeah, fine, it is sad that a horse dies, but they haven't established any type of
Connection,
like attachment or
No.
anything to this horse prior to this. He was only in the film for about 2 minutes before that happened, and I was a bit like, oh right, yeah, it's just horse. Like, I didn't know anything about it. Like, I feel like they should have made that more of a thing, or made that kind of
later in the story.
in the film, so that you had grown an attachment to this horse instead of just, yeah, it was weird.
Yeah.
I don't
And
know.
also, it doesn't stick. It doesn't stick because you see him with him at the end. So he's wished for them back.
Yeah,
He's
that's
essentially
true.
collected all 7 of the Dragon Balls, which, you know, there is a dragon in this film. So, I mean, you know.
And he was a creep.
Well,
yeah.
well.
He was. He's winking at him. You talk in your sleep, wink. Come over here and scratch me behind the ear. Yeah. That's creep.
Okay, all right. I mean, here's the thing. I think we're viewing this film through the eyes of cynical adults, in a way.
I don't think so.
Do you not?
No.
Do you think... So, what did you think of this film overall?
I still would have thought, even if I was younger, I still would have thought it was creepy that he was winking at him and saying,
Okay.
you talk in your sleep and I was listening.
Okay.
Don't you think? I still think that's a bit creepy.
A little bit. Here's the thing. I thought that Falcor was going to be in it a little bit more, and he was going to be the character that everyone kind of finds that connection with and has,
Yeah,
you know, is like,
there was
you know,
no,
that's everyone's
like,
favourite
building
character.
of anything like that, was there? It was just,
No.
it just wasn't. It was like, you don't see anything long enough for you to be bothered about it.
Like, the only character that you really have that amount of time with to form any connection with is Atreyu, and even then, as a character, there's no real change.
No, he doesn't have any
in
substance
him.
about him.
No.
Because there's that part where he goes through the whatever reason for that massive boob thing.
The Sphinxes.
Why have they got such big boobs? Why have they got such big obvious boobs?
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in this film that is like, why is that there? Like, why do these statues have giant nipples?
Boobs? It's so. I mean, that's not appropriate, is it?
I mean,
I think that's weird.
I mean,
and it's like as soon as you look at the boobs, you get zapped with laser eyes. Don't look at boobs, kids, because that's what happens to you. You get your eyes burnt out.
I mean, that is the subtext of the film, is that if you look directly at the boobs, you're probably going to get lasered to death. So
also, there's like a lot of things wrong with that part, because they're looking through you to see what's inside your heart and your confidence and your whatever, bravery and whatever they said, stuff like that, rubbish stuff like that. And he didn't actually make it through. They still tried to laser him. It's just that he ran quick.
He was too fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he wasn't actually a hero at all, because he still wasn't good on the inside. He just ran through the laser.
It's not about good or bad. It's how sure of yourself you are. If it's about
like, it's
testing
the
your doubt.
Confidence in your heart and all this.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he obviously wasn't very sure of himself, because he had to leg it through it because he didn't think he would make it. That's self-doubt.
Fair enough. Yeah. No,
so it didn't even work.
Yeah. So, I mean...
And why couldn't he just use that big dragon to fly over it?
Well, I mean, this brings up the whole thing from Lord of the Rings as well. Like, why didn't the eagles just fly them into Mordor? You know?
I haven't seen that.
Well, yeah, I know, but you know,
I'm sure I could think of a reason why if I watched it, but I don't know.
Well, canonically, yes, there are reasons, and it's because the eagles can't fly over the land of men, blah 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 blah, everything like that. So yeah, there is always an answer to these things canonically, and I'm sure that it's probably because, you know, Falcor took him as far as he could go, but was not allowed to like go any further for whatever magical reasons.
I'm fed up with all this stuff in film. Yeah, magical reasons. I'm fed up with all this stuff in films being like, oh no, you can't do that because you have to show your bravery. You have to know yourself. You have to find yourself. You have to know what you're capable of. You have to believe in yourself. All this sort of stuff. No, just get me over the blooming thing. You can fly. What's the point of you being here otherwise?
But that doesn't create any hurdles for the character. That creates nothing for the character to actually do. So you're basically saying your ideal film would be they have something to go and do, they find the quickest route there, do it, and then go home.
Why do you think I like Flintstones and Viva Rock Vegas so much? All they want to do is go to Las Vegas. They get there and they come back.
Okay. Wow. Well, I suppose I walked right into that one, really, didn't I?
I don't care about
that does make
peril. I
sense.
just want them like Napoleon Dynamite. He's just having a day. Like, it's good. Oh no, you have to.
You don't want to see any of the characters in any kind of danger, really, do you?
I don't know. I don't care about that. He wasn't in danger. It's just this whole rubbish of like, oh no, you have to believe in yourself. You have to really know your worth and all this sort of stuff. Well, why are you there then? Just fly me over the thing. What are you there to do? Perv on me in my sleep. That's it.
We interrupt this show to bring you a brief word from our sponsors.
Amber, I would like to tell you about Greenbird gift baskets.
Cool.
You're interested?
Interested.
Excellent, I'm glad you said that, because Greenbird Gift Baskets is a small local business based in Southampton offering gourmet gift baskets beautifully hand-wrapped in biodegradable cellophane. They use products from small local businesses wherever they can and are perfect gifts for weddings, birthdays, baby showers, or simply as a thank you.
We are passionate about supporting small local businesses who offer delicious products and share our values on sustainability. There is a selection of baskets available online, Greenbird gift baskets at square.site, and all baskets are totally customisable for dietary needs and tastes.
Greenbird gift baskets offer sweet, savoury and mixed baskets as well as picnic boxes, and prices start from just £25 for a gift basket. Amber, they can even add wine or fizz for an extra special touch.
Collection is available from Southampton, or they can deliver to surrounding areas. So visit Greenbird gift baskets at square.site and check them out on Facebook and Instagram at Greenbird gift baskets.
Oh, and make sure to tell them that Back to the Revuture sent you, yeah?
And now we return to your regularly scheduled programming.
So you weren't really a fan of this film then?
No, I wasn't really that bothered by it.
Okay. Well, I was kind of showing you this in the vain hope that it might be something that you kind of got turned around on. Because I was kind of expecting to see this film and maybe have something as far as a light bulb click for me go.
Yeah, if it was
and
better.
go, oh, I get what this is about now. Like, I get the mentality of this film now. Like, I see why this is a big deal. I see what the big deal is about. But I kind of just felt like... I felt some parts of it were just a little bit cringe.
Yeah, the whole thing was
in
cringe.
a way. Well, no, I don't think the whole thing was cringe. It was mainly just the whole fact of this kid reading the book and it cutting back to him in the real world every so often, and him sort of like saying things out loud.
Yeah,
that
was
is like,
weird.
okay, but we already know that this is happening.
Yeah, but we have to be reminded that he's reading it.
Yeah, but it's like we know what part we're at because we're actually watching that at the same time. So should he not have actually been saying something else, like checking his watch and being like...
That's less cringe.
No, checking his watch and saying like, I really should be going home now. Maybe I'll just do one more chapter. You know? So it's like that, repetitively, like showing his like... He knows he's got to be doing other things. He knows he's got to be
though.
Right, but that's the bit that we should be seeing.
He doesn't. But he doesn't even think about going somewhere else because he doesn't care. It doesn't even come into his head. He's not even thinking about it.
Yeah, instead we just see him eating stuff.
Eating an apple, like really aggressively.
Aggressively eating an apple. And what school has that room just available for kids to just walk like, right into?
Yeah, it's not really an attic, is it? Because it's not even really up. It's just up a couple of stairs. Oh, there you go. The broken glass, the key with the broken glass is just right here.
Yeah.
That's
How convenient.
And how did nobody ask where he was? Like, why wasn't his dad like, oh, where has he gone?
I know, because it literally gets to like halfway through the night.
Yeah, and there's thunder and lightning and storms happening and it's raining everywhere. No, weird.
Although I suppose he could just wish, one of his wishes could just be like, I wish it was like I'd never left. Like no one even realised I was gone.
Yeah, I know, but that happens. that happens.
Problem solved.
Yeah, but
there you go. There's your answer.
Yeah, but that happens at the end. He gets wishes at the end. Where are the people? Where are the other times?
Yeah, I don't know. I find it funny that the bookshop guy said literally everything that you would probably say to a kid if you wanted them to do the exact opposite of what you were saying.
He wanted him to take the book though, didn't he? That's what he said.
He obviously did.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
He was looking out the window and he was like, yes.
Yes, do it.
Or whatever
do it. Do it, go on, take it.
I knew you'd take it.
Like, he wasn't even, like, he wasn't even subtle about where he hit, like, wasn't even the point of putting it under something, like, right in front of him, like, this book isn't for you. It's not for you.
What is it for then?
Yeah, exactly. So, I found that kind of funny. Like, they obviously had it in the script, like, he's going to say absolutely everything to him to make him take the book. Because if he just said, here, take this book, he would have gone, no, probably not.
I've got loads of books. I've got 186 books at home. I don't need that one.
Do you want one more?
Nah.
Nah, I'm alright now. Well, good. Don't want you to have it.
Oh,
No, wait, hang on now. What, you don't want me to have it? Well, let's just think about this for a second now. Maybe I spoke a little bit too fast. What's so good about this book? Nah, it's crap. Nah, you don't want it. It is rubbish. You wouldn't like it. It's too spicy. Too spicy.
It's too spicy for you.
Too spicy for you.
Too much horse death. You wouldn't like it.
You wouldn't like it. Nah.
Too depressing. There's a big massive pit of depression that people have to climb out of. Right.
That's real life. That's real life right now.
He knows. He's just been chucked in a garbage can. He knows.
Oh, I'm sorry. The swamps of sadness? What? You mean regular life? You mean having a job? You mean paying a mortgage?
Getting a mortgage for some people even.
Right? Oh, why don't we just refer to the swamps of sadness as our house? I mean, that's a bit depressing. It's not that far.
Not our house, no.
No. Our house is brilliant.
Yeah, but
our house has a podcast recorded in it. Who else can say that?
Loads of people.
Right, fair enough. Okay.
After lockdown,
After lockdown, yeah. Our house has a good podcast recorded in it. Who else can say that?
Yeah. Some people.
Well, I mean, okay, all right. Maybe good is subjective. I don't know. But if you think this is a good podcast, don't forget to let us know and rate 5 stars and interact with us on our social medias
And if you
using
don't
hashtag
think it's a good
PTTRpod.
podcast, just don't tell us. I don't want to know.
Yeah, if you think we're crap, then don't bother telling us. We have very fragile egos. We can't deal with that kind of rejection, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
So I did think that the weirdest part of this film, out of everything that happened, which is saying a lot, okay? Because there's a lot of this film where you had to suspend your disbelief a little bit.
Well, yeah.
Okay. So the green screen technology was. You can tell in this film that this isn't a Jim Henson film. This isn't really like a Spielberg film. This is a film that got made on apparently a quite high budget.
Yeah, it was really expensive.
But I don't think it had like that flair for production
No.
that a Jim Henson would or a Spielberg film would.
Yeah, they don't have the attention to detail, do they?
No. And that was kind of a little bit obvious from the first time that you see fantasy things happening. And I think, if I was to be honest, because it was in the trailers for the film a lot, it was the rock biter that really kind of put me off a little bit.
Did it?
I think it was something about the rock biter. I don't know why, but it was something about
That's
that.
weird, because don't you think that's like quite similar to like a Harryhausen? What's he called? Harryhausen?
Yeah, Ray Harryhausen.
Ray Harryhausen.
Yeah, it's stop motion.
Yeah, but don't you think it looks kind of similar to the stuff in his films?
A little bit. A little
You're
bit.
right, you didn't mind that though.
I didn't see. Here's the thing: stop motion is fine. I can kind of deal with the stop motion.
I just mean like
aspect.
specifically the rock guy.
Yeah, but the thing is, it wasn't stop motion.
No,
it was
but
animatronic.
I
but
feel like it's got that look about it.
it does kind of, but I don't know if it's like there enough. Anyway, the weirdest part for me was the fact that his dad put into a blender orange juice and an egg, blended it together and drank it, and that was one shot. Like, that wasn't cut. Like, that actually happened.
That's gross.
That was actually something that guy did.
I know.
Is that a thing?
No.
Is that a thing that people do? Like, is that something that people did in the 80s? Was that like I need to have a drink in the morning to give me, like, my protein? Because, you know, it's a good thing to have eggs in the morning, but I don't want the process of cooking the egg, so I'm going to blend it into my morning OJ so that I can just drink it straight back. Is that a thing? No. Did people do that? Or is that literally just this one guy in this one film?
Someone says, "Oh yeah, I'll have my orange juice and eggies for breakfast." Not in the same glass.
That seems like something that people would do to cure a hangover.
This is the thing. Was it common for people in the 80s to blend a raw egg with orange juice, similar to the breakfast Bastian's father made in the NeverEnding story?
Is that an actual question that Google has filled out for you? Is that Google predictive?
It's on Quora.
Oh, okay, alright.
Which is like a weird thing, but anyway.
It's a search engine that no one uses, but okay, we'll go with it.
So, oh no, it's not a search engine. It's people actually just put questions and real people just answer it. It's like Yahoo Answers. I literally loved that back in the day because people ask such weird stuff.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, there was always stuff when people said like, I thought there was a whole thing where people tell you not to eat raw eggs because it will kill you or something.
I think it's to do with salmonella.
It is a hangover cure, apparently.
Yeah. See, that's what I thought. It's something about a hangover cure, maybe. So that kind of implies that Bastian's dad has just been like drinking.
Yeah, because his wife died.
Well, yeah, maybe.
That's why he didn't know where. That's why he didn't know where he was all night.
Maybe because he was just drinking. Oh my god, that's a pretty dark insinuation of that, isn't it? Really?
Apparently, a lot of weird concept drinks came out during the 70s due to the arrival of the cheap home blender.
Home blender. So
there also apparently was a thing called the Orange Julius. They used fresh squeezed orange juice and a secret powder with raw egg mixed in a blender.
Right.
And it was called an Orange Julius.
Okay, I thought that was like a stand that malls in America had that was called Orange Julius. And it was just like an orange juice kiosk.
Yeah, it was already made.
Yeah. Is that where that name comes from?
Fresh squeezed orange juice and a secret powder and a raw egg mixed in a blender.
Oh my god.
That's what Orange Julius was.
Oh my god, that's so weird.
So maybe that's where people got the idea from.
Oh, that's weird. I don't know that I like that. I mean, it's like, okay, fine, the orange juice would be really rich, and if you blend it together like that, it'll probably have like a foam on it, so it'd be like thick.
Yeah, his did have a big foam on it.
Yeah, so it would be like, it would probably be drinking like an orange smoothie of some kind. But no, no, that doesn't seem right.
It's really disgusting. So, like, I'm sorry, but this is just the classic thing of idiot, like, dads or parents, like, being annoyed at their kids for drawing a unicorn, but he drinks egg and orange juice, and that's not weird.
That's hypocritical. That's hypocritical. I'm sorry.
Don't start drawing unicorns in your book. I'm just going to get back to my raw egg and orange juice drink.
That's double standards. Right there.
How can you think that's fine then?
That is spoken like a true cynical adult. Keep your feet on the ground, and one day you'll grow up to be a free-thinking adult like me that can blend orange juice and an egg together into one. If that's the example of what he's got to look forward to growing up into, yeah, he's probably made the right decision in this film.
He's a terrible parent.
That
guy is a terrible parent. He's telling his kid, no, sorry, we're not talking about the dream that you had about your mum who just died. We're not talking about that, sorry. Put it under the rug, cover it up.
I mean, this is the thing. He's obviously not done it in a malicious way, and I like the way that it was approached. Like, he's obviously trying to help him, but he's helping him in the most, like, adult, boring, grown-up way possible, being like, you got to start concentrating and behaving and being a grown-up.
Oh,
and
yeah, he's
blah,
going to
blah,
be able
blah,
to do
blah,
that,
blah.
is he, after his mum just died?
Yeah, exactly. So, double standards there, which I find kind of funny. Anyway, okay, you found something else interesting.
No, I was going to show you the Orange Julius. That's what you've seen, isn't it? Is it? Or not?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
They've got,
I don't think I've
obviously
actually...
they've got loads of different stuff now because they do like smoothies and stuff. So, but in the it started off in the 20s as being that egg powder thing.
Oh my god, that's weird. See, I just thought Orange Julius was just like a
I
Jamba
think
Juice
now it's
or
just
something.
started up. Yeah.
It's just like Jamba Juice.
Well, yeah. What? Yeah, kind of.
So it's like orange juice,
Locations.
but like crazy calorific.
Oh right. Well, I don't know. I don't know about that. It just seems like it's smoothies and stuff.
See, the thing that I learned about Jamba Juice while I was in the US is that they think it's healthy because it's like you're having fruit
Oh yeah.
in a smoothie, but actually it's crazy sugary,
Look how thick
like
that
ridiculous.
is.
Oh god. Oh no. Oh no. No, that does not look right. That looks like fizzy, foamy orange juice. Oh, America, why?
I want to try it.
Why?
If I see one of those when we're in America, I'm gonna have one.
Pina Colada, Julius Original. Okay, maybe. Tropical Tango Premium Fruit. See, the Tropical Tango Premium Fruit Smoothie, that just looks like a fruit
Yeah, because
smoothie.
it's a smoothie. Yeah.
Right, that's
Because
fine.
they branched out.
But,
But when it first started, it was just powder, egg, and orange juice.
oh, why does it have foam on it?
Because they blended it together like that guy.
Oh, you get it at Dairy Queen?
Yeah, it was a Dairy
What?
Queen thing. Yeah, but they must. I think they've got their own as well. There's not like a Dairy Queen might have just bought it out.
Why? I mean, there's so many things when I go to America that I just ask why. But I think this is the biggest why.
Yeah, I know, but like if you came to this country, you'd be seeing spam and be like, why?
I think the thing that's been the most why for Americans coming over here is black pudding. So black pudding is the thing that in America they go, well, we eat a lot of stuff that's like unusual, but black pudding, why?
Yeah.
And to them I say, have you ever had black pudding?
And to them, I say, have you ever heard of Orange Julius? Raw egg and orange juice.
Ah, it's nasty. What? What?
What? What?
So, what? So, how about some more Is the Trivia Worth the Time? Now, do you want to hear about Noah Hathaway, who played Atreyu, and all of the crappy things that happened to him while filming?
Oh, okay, go on then.
Okay, so Noah Hathaway was the main character of this film, played Atreyu. You said when he first appeared in the film, like, oh, all of the girls must have really loved this
Yeah.
guy. He must have been the first crushes of a
Yeah.
lot of girls watching it. And I get that.
And boys, probably.
Probably. Might have been the awakening of a lot of young boys when watching
Especially when that
this.
girl at the end was like, do anything you can imagine.
Right?
Scream my name.
I mean, there's other insinuations which we can
Literally
get to
just
as well.
after they've seen big boobs on it as well.
Yeah, and lots of things on the wall and going into the palace and everything like that look a lot like vaginas in the background. Like, you think it's just ornate moulding on the wall. You look closer, it looks like a vagina, my friend.
You said that was just in my head, and now you're saying
The
it.
more I'm thinking about it, and the more
It's
I'm
just the way she
thinking
was,
about
like,
the context
all
of
in
it.
white, sitting in that clamshell in the middle of something that looked like he'd walked into a vagina. Like, it's weird.
She is essentially the pearl in the clam, right?
Right.
Right. And everything on the wall looks like vaginas.
Like the birth of Venus, who's in like the shell, all naked and.
Yeah. I mean, maybe that's the... If you want to get that deep into the artistic intent of the film,
Yeah, because
maybe
the whole thing
that's
seems
it.
really religious.
But I
He's
don't think
God,
it was...
obviously.
I don't think it was that well thought through, though. I don't think there was that much thought put into it.
Oh.
Because apparently, in the original book, Atreyu has green skin.
Oh.
So I don't think they've taken any of, like, the mental images that you build from reading the book into consideration in this film.
Yeah, but
I
if
think
he
they
had
definitely
green skin as well, that would have lost me straight away.
probably, but I think the book is meant to be more like high fantasy,
Yeah.
like Lord of the Rings style thing, rather than kind of not quite sci-fi, not quite high fantasy, but very abstract fantasy almost.
Okay.
You know? Anyway, he was the main character in this film. The amount of crap that he got put through, then the amount of times that this kid almost died
Oh.
while filming.
Oh.
Holy crap. The amount of times this kid nearly died. Noah Hathaway was hurt twice during the making of the movie. While learning to ride a horse, his horse threw him off, then stepped on him. People have died
That's why you drowned
from
him.
less. People have died from just being thrown off a horse, let alone being stepped
People
on.
have died from eating a hamburger that was found under the bed, so yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we learned that from Teen Angel. This is why you don't eat the hamburger you find under the bed. While shooting the drowning sequence in the Swamp of Sadness, his leg got caught on the elevator and he was pulled underwater. He was unconscious by the time he was brought to the surface. This kid nearly drowned while making the film.
Yeah,
Like,
it's bad.
Does that not blow people's minds when watching this film? Why did they let that happen?
Well, you're not in control of a horse throwing you off.
No, you're not in control of the horse throwing you off. That's one thing. That's one thing altogether. That is an accident. The fact that his leg got caught on something that pulled him
How
under.
did they know that was going to happen, though?
But he was probably shouting, "My leg is caught, my
What's
leg is
the
caught."
Probably not. He's probably just screaming, and maybe they just thought, oh, he's getting really into this acting stuff.
I don't know.
What's the elevator in? What does that mean? Where?
The elevator under the Swamp of Sadness that was just like lowering them down into the
okay.
water. Right? So
Yeah, I think I heard that that horse did actually die.
there's something about that. Here, contrary to internet rumour, the horse did not really die during the filming of the Swamp of Sadness scene, as confirmed by German magazine interview with Noah Hathaway shortly after the movie, and in the years since at conventions, the horse was given to Noah at the end of filming. But due to the cost of transportation, need for quarantine, and sterilisation, the horse was left in Germany. Noah gave the horse to Andrel Cecil Kirk Jr. in Dallas, Texas. So, the horse didn't actually die during filming.
Oh.
I think that was more of like an internet rumour that got started, or kind of got started after the film came out someone came out going, oh yeah, I heard the horse actually died shooting that
people
film.
love that stuff.
Because you never actually see the horse any lower than its neck in the water. So it's
No, but it said the same thing as what happened to him, basically. Like, it got stuck or caught on something, and it kept going down.
Oh, right. Okay, I can see how that would happen. Yeah.
Unless, like, the story of him getting caught and pulled under was true, but they used it for the horse instead, and it got a bit mixed up.
Yeah, that was probably what it was. It was just maybe a miscommunication in what happened. I think it's obviously, okay, you know, the rumor about a horse dying while making this film. Yes, if that did happen, very sad. But
It didn't.
A, it didn't. B, a child actor dying during the making of this film.
Everyone's
That's
like,
a
oh,
lot
well.
more sad.
Oh, well.
Everyone would be like,
more where they
okay,
came from.
alright, wow, we probably have to stop filming this
I'm
now.
sure other people auditioned.
Film never would have got made. I don't know. Or it would have gone down in legend as being like, oh, they had to change
and they
actors
would have-
halfway through.
They would have made loads of money off it.
Yeah, I don't know. Another one. Noah Hathaway almost lost an eye during the fight scene versus Gamork. One of the claws on his giant paws poked him in the face. The robot was also so heavy that he lost his breath as well when he was hit to the ground by it. They only made one shot due to the risk that he would get seriously wounded.
Yeah, and they don't even...
He was already seriously wounded. He nearly lost an eye and he nearly drowned.
Yeah, but they don't even really show you him getting hit by that. What was
They cut away.
What was the point in even attempting, like, him nearly losing an eye and getting the breath out of him, whatever it was, suffocated, just for you to not see it in the film?
For you to not see the shot
'Cause it
where they
cuts so
actually,
quick.
like, cut together the fight.
Because it's not even on top of him when you see him. He's like
No.
on the side. He's like he kind of is, I suppose, but he's got his hand there with the blood on it from him stabbing him. That's
Yeah.
just so weird.
And I mean, this is the thing. You think that it's building towards some sort of big climax where you see this legendary warrior Atreyu, this hunter Atreyu, fight something, and it never happens.
Yeah, because nothing amounts to anything. Everything starts off as being something and then just finishes.
Yeah.
Just like the whole film. It's just like, oh, and it's like a 5-year-old writing a book like, oh, I can't really be bothered to do the ending. I don't really know how it finishes. Why don't I just say, oh, he made loads of wishes and had a really nice time. The end. That's basically it.
I mean, I feel like the other two films of NeverEnding Story give more reason and context to
Yeah, but they
this
didn't
one.
know that those other films were going to happen when they made this one.
No, you don't. And to make a 90-minute film out of a book that you only get halfway through.
Yeah, so have to cram all that stuff in.
Yeah, it seems a little bit like, why? Why would you leave it like that and just have bank on people coming back for the next one with the intention of making it? You know, if this film hadn't done well, there would have never been the other two, and they would have just gone,
I
oh,
don't
well, our
think they were
plan didn't
planning
work
on
out.
that, were they?
don't
And then at the
know.
end, it's just like, oh, he made loads of wishes, and there we go. Okay.
And maybe for, at the time, this film was visually quite progressive, but I don't think it was visually progressive for very long. Because I feel like the 80s did a lot of things.
it outdated quite quick, I would imagine,
Yeah.
which is a shame. But, well, they didn't try hard enough.
I feel like, and this is the thing, I feel like the NeverEnding Story may have been visually progressive at its time. And I am not here to point out flaws in people's childhoods. I get that if this was a formative film for people's childhood, like, that's great. I can see why it was. I can see why. If I watched this when if I had actually got into
If I
it,
hadn't been terrified of that rock man and I actually watched this
if I hadn't been utterly terrified by the concept of some of the things in this film, yes, if the visual look of this film hadn't completely terrified me into not watching it, and I actually stomached it and got into it, there's a very good chance I might well have been, oh, right, yeah, this is the kind of fantasy that I like.
Yeah.
This is the kind of thing, like going on a mission and there's a quest to be had,
Yeah, you
there's a
think
story
that, but
to
then
be
nothing
told,
happened.
and it all leads up to the importance of the fact that the boy is reading the book. Like, the whole premise of it is around the fact that this boy needs to be reading the book in order to save this fantasy world. Okay, it makes sense. So I get it that this is part of people's childhood, and I am not ruining that. But by today's standards, this looks visually not great. This has not aged well.
No.
This did not age well by the time that the 90s came round.
Yeah.
And I feel like after the NeverEnding story came to be, things gradually got visually better and better year by year until Jurassic Park came out. And that's the point that we peaked.
Yeah.
And everything after Jurassic Park has just been kind of, you know?
I know. Even the new graphics in the Jurassic World films and like the Jurassic Park films aren't very good.
No. Like, some of them are, like, really not that great. We've learned now that the key is a very fine balance of computer-generated and
real.
practical effects.
Yeah.
That is what makes the film. And I feel like...
Well, this had that though.
Yeah. I feel like the Star Wars films that we're getting now visually are on the same level as Jurassic Park was. Right?
That's so funny.
Like, it's the same level of believability. That's not to say they're bad. It's the opposite. They're both really good. I still feel they are at the same level. I feel like the only exception to this rule is maybe Avatar. Okay? But even then, that's a stretch. And that's because James Cameron had to wait 10 years for the technology to catch up to the concept script that he had made. He literally wrote the film Avatar 10 years before it came out, and he had to wait for technology to get better in order to do it.
Why doesn't he just do what Disney do and create the technology?
Well, he probably did.
Boring.
It probably took him 10 years to do it.
Nah.
That being said, don't worry, it did all work out for Noah Hathaway.
No, it
'Cause-
didn't.
Guess what? It all worked out for him because Noah Hathaway now owns and operates a tattoo parlor in Los Angeles, California with his wife. All worked out for him. He's living a happy life. Don't worry about him. He's got a
right.
tattoo parlor.
Okay, that's unusual, but fine. Oh, I kind of.
They really thought that kid was gonna be someone.
A tattoo parlor in LA, actually.
Yeah. See, it
I
worked out for
wouldn't
him.
mind that life.
No.
Give me that life.
Yeah. I think that people were expecting Noah Hathaway to be someone, you know?
Yeah, I think
Like,
so.
I
Maybe
kind
he
of
did-
like...
Maybe he got put off by the fact that he nearly died a couple of times doing this film, and he maybe thought, "Oh, I don't know if it's worth this. Actually, I might just
Yeah,
not
because
do
it's
that."
bloody
anymore."
traumatizing.
Yeah,
And he had to do a lot of acting, like, against nothing.
yeah, haha, which is funny.
Well, yeah, there is that. You know, he had to act against a bloody animatronic head
Yeah.
of a luck dragon.
Well,
You know?
yeah, I think the whole thing was there.
Yeah,
It had
yeah.
a body. That's why it was always just lying down all lazily and weird, because it was just a long body.
Falcor is actually a 43-foot-long motorized creature with 6,000 plastic scales and pink feather fur. His head is 3 foot tall and long, and has a long tongue in the mouth. See, this is all crap trivia until it's necessary.
Well, yeah, but I mean that was necessary at that exact moment, because I was saying it's a long body. It was a whole body.
Yeah, it is. And it's all there, but I don't know if the whole thing is motorized.
No,
I
it's
feel
not.
like
I don't
they're-
think it is. That's what
Yeah.
I mean. That's why it's lying all lazy and weird. Like its body's just like limp and lying, and its head's moving.
Yeah.
Or it's like its eyes are moving.
So this kid had to act against, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's nothing to, like, emote off of.
No.
So he had a really difficult job
Yeah.
to start with, and then almost died twice and almost lost an eye. Yeah, that's probably enough to put people off of acting.
Yeah, but imagine how cool he would have looked now in his tattoo parlor in LA with an eye patch.
I mean, right. Do you want to know how I lost this eye? I was fighting a werewolf. Motorized werewolf. It's like, okay, all right. Explain yourself.
Yeah.
It would make, admittedly, yeah, it would make a really good story. A never-ending story, if you will. But, I don't know. Do you feel like you've benefited from watching the never-ending story now?
No.
No. I don't know. And part of me is really tempted to watch the other two because here's the thing: the other two are
Well,
also
guess what? You're going to be watching them on your own.
the other two are also only 90 minutes long, so
Yeah,
it's
but
not
this
like a
still felt
really
long.
big investment.
Oh, it is.
But I feel like they would give context to this film.
What do you need the context for?
I don't know. Let's look up the second one and see what.
Oh.
Because maybe the second one is the one that I'm just thinking is the one that completely put me. See the second one came out 6 years later.
Yeah, it's pointless.
6 years later.
It's pointless.
And it's a different kid playing Bastian. It's a different kid playing Atreyu.
Yeah, because they're all 6 years older.
Man. Yeah, so all of these people are like entirely different cast, which is really strange. A young boy with a distant father enters a world of make-believe and magic through a portal within an antique book. See, that's what I thought the plot of the first one was going to be. I literally thought that, look at this kid. That's what the kid looks like in the second one. It's just, I thought that was what it was going to be for this first film. And I thought it was going to be that the book is the portal into the world, and that's what he goes into. I definitely think that it is the trailer for the second film that I've seen that has put... yeah. There are some things in this that look weird to me. Oh, God, yes. Right, the third one. This is such good audio content, isn't it? It's just me reacting to things.
I can't even see what you're talking... Even I can't see what you're talking about, so yeah, this is terrible.
And the third one came out a further 4 years later, and also has a different person playing Bastian.
Maybe it's not Bastian. Maybe it's someone else.
No, it is. It's Bastian.
How do you know that?
Because it says Bastian.
Oh.
Jack Black is in it, though.
Oh.
Jack Black plays a character in it. So...
That must be one of his first roles.
In 1994. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. A young boy must restore order when a group of bullies steal the magical book that acts as a portal between Earth and the imaginary world of Fantasia.
That you didn't like about the second one then? What was the thing you were boking about?
So the rock biter
Yeah.
has a child, and it's someone walking around in a suit as a baby like rock golem that looks just so bad and off-putting.
Can you not show me?
Okay, I mean, yes, and I'll leave it with you, and you will see the part that I see in it. But
so it's NeverEnding Story 2, the trailer that you saw that you didn't like.
I
then.
think it is.
Because you said it was about the rock thing that was the thing that you didn't like. So it seems
I think
like...
it is. I think it is, and there's just everything
Why
about it.
Why does he look confused in this one? Like he's opening the book like he's confused, like he's never seen it before.
I feel like the whole start of the second one recaps everything that we have just seen in this one.
Oh.
I feel like it recaps the whole thing. I don't know. So
Falcor looks better though.
Of course, Falcor looks great in everything. He's Falcor. Falcor is the one. Falcor, I think,
That
is
baby
the one.
rock thing.
Everything about the look of this trailer for the second one puts me off of it. I don't know. Anyway, I feel like this is the point where we should be.
It.
No.
I'm sorry to say that I just didn't really like it.
I feel like this is the point at which we should be giving this film a rating. As we do every episode, the person that hasn't seen the film gets to give the film a rating, but every episode, what the rating is out of changes. So, do you want to go first, or shall I go first?
Yeah, I'm going to give it 2 boobs.
2 boobs. Good.
No, 2. Yeah,
I feel
2.
like...
Sorry, but 2. Yeah, 2. Because I've given better films like 3.5 and 3s and stuff. Just because I've been like,
No.
So yeah, I'm going to give it 2.
Okay.
2 boobies. 2 big old boobies.
I feel like there was another film that we've reviewed that you gave it 2 boobies for.
Probably. Yeah, probably.
but I can't remember what it was. If anyone has listened to the episodes religiously...
There's been so many different films that I wouldn't even be able to remember.
We are up to about 43 at this point.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's a lot that we've been through, and with a rating that changes every time. But if anyone can remember what it was that Amber rated something 2 boobies for, then, you know, that would be good to remind us. Do let us know.
Yeah, I can't.
I genuinely don't know. I am lost because I'm very torn, because I feel like there's a significant part of cultural history where at least the first film belongs in.
It's still based on opinion, though. You don't have to give it a better rating just because other people like it.
No, but I also feel that culturally, the first film has a relevance and has a reason for being. But looking at it through my cynical, heartless adult eyes, knowing what I know now, I just don't... I feel like the film could have benefited if it had literally been made by Jim Henson.
Yeah.
You know? Just that one thing. If Jim Henson had been in charge of making this film...
Yeah, maybe.
I feel like it would have been a much better... And I'm going to double check that actually it wasn't Jim Henson doing this, because there's a chance that it might have been.
It doesn't say anything about him on it, so I wouldn't think so.
Well, I don't even know if he was a producer.
I never saw his name. It was all German people.
No, it's all Wolfgang Petersen is the person that's behind a lot of this. Yeah, a lot of German names behind it, and I just feel like if this was a project that had been given to Jim Henson or Steven Spielberg, it would have been a very, very different feeling behind it. So, for that, I think I can only really give it 2 as well. Maybe 2.5. 2.5 because I actually liked Falcor.
Oh, okay. I didn't.
No. No, it gets an extra half because Falcor I actually liked.
What are you giving it out of?
What am I going to give it out of? I'm going to give it out of Orange Julius.
Oh. Yeah.
The most disgusting part of the film. So, yeah, I'm going to give it 2.5 Orange Juliuses. If that is indeed what it actually, the name of it was.
I don't think it is, but that's just, it's still a weird thing.
Disgusting. So there you have it, the NeverEnding story. And even though it's some drastic false advertising in its title, I feel, although
I don't think it is.
Yeah, I mean, while you're watching
we're still talking about it.
I mean, yeah. Maybe that's done its job.
Yeah.
Maybe that was the whole point all along. Maybe the real NeverEnding story is the fact that we're talking about it afterwards. Maybe that's how it's never-ending. Because it's never ending in our hearts and minds. Okay, so anyway, gets 2 boobies from Amber and 2.5 Orange Juliuses from me. But what do you all out there think? Is the NeverEnding story a key part of your childhood that you've hung on to all of these years, and it has a deeper meaning for you because you enjoyed it as a child when it came out, and there is no discernible concept in your mind as to NeverEnding Story being a bad film or being outdated of any kind? Or are you a little bit like me? Did the look of the film make you feel a little bit on edge because it wasn't quite right to you, and it was just a film that never really grabbed you or you got into? Have you yourself ever tried an Orange Julius and know what the big deal is about it? If you are American and you can tell us what the big deal about Orange Julius is, please do feel free to inform us, because we're really interested now. We're invested in this. We're equally as invested in this as some people have been in the NeverEnding Story franchise. All of these opinions and more can be conveyed to us through our social medias. I am at Drew Bridger.
At Amberange.
And don't forget to use the hashtag BTTRpod. Did I say too many T's then? I don't know.
No.
I always feel like I do.
So.
The hashtag BTTRpod. Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah, I think that's right. On social media to let us know when we are being talked about on the internet. That is definitely staying in, by the way. I'm not editing that out. Amber, if the listeners have enjoyed this episode and not currently been offended by our opinions on the NeverEnding story, what else should they do?
Like, subscribe and review on your podcast service and rate 5 stars. Also follow at BTTR Podcast on Insta.
On Insta, star. Because that's how many stars they should be giving us.
Oh.
Yes. So, if you have enjoyed this episode, do feel free to tell friends, family, people that you like about this podcast, because podcasts like this do rely on word of mouth getting around. So do feel free to spread the word about the fact that you've enjoyed this podcast. If you haven't enjoyed it, tell people that you don't like. But then if you haven't enjoyed it, you probably haven't listened this far. So this message isn't for you. If you do want to listen to us review the other installments in the NeverEnding story,
Tough.
not tough. You will have to get in contact with us on social media. If there's enough of an outcry for us to do the NeverEnding Story 2, the next chapter, I will suck it up and I will sit through it and watch it, and I will conquer my uneasy feeling about the uncanny valley of that film, and I will just get through it and we'll see what turns out from that film. But until the point where that either does or does not happen, depending how much of an outcry there is for it, Amber, I need you to do something for me.
What?
I need you to turn around. I need you to look at what you see. It's the chapter of our never-ending story. That bit in Stranger Things makes so much sense now.
I like that.
That's the best bit of this film, is that it's giving context to that.
It's reminded me of that.
Oh boy, let's just go watch Stranger Things instead.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, alright.